Men over 60, a urologist reveals 5 simple water mistakes that kill rock-solid performance. Hello, gentlemen. I'm Dr. Audrey Wells. For your entire life, you've heard one piece of advice: drink more water. But what if I told you that for men over 50, simply drinking more water isn't the answer? That in some cases, it could even be working against you. Now, you might blame age, or hormones, or stress for feeling a step slower. Maybe less firm in the bedroom. Most men I speak with just chalk it up to getting older. But what if the real culprit is hiding in plain sight? You see, the science is actually quite simple. An erection is a hydraulic event, powered by blood pressure. And your blood is mostly water. In fact, a comprehensive 2019 review in the Journal of Clinical Medicine, which analyzed data from over 30 different trials, found that even mild dehydration can reduce blood vessel responsiveness by up to 50%. 50%. This isn't just theory. It reminds me so much of one of my patients, Robert, a 68-year-old who came to me feeling like he was fading. He was drinking water, but all at the wrong times, and his performance was weak and unreliable. The simple changes we are about to discuss, they made a world of difference for him. So stick with me for the next few minutes. I'm going to show you the 5 biggest hydration mistakes that are quietly sabotaging your masculine vitality, and the exact simple blueprint to fix them, starting tomorrow morning. If any of this sounds familiar to you, let me know in the comments where you're watching from today. And be sure to click subscribe, because you won't want to miss this. All right, let's get practical. We're going to break down the 5 biggest hydration mistakes I see men make every single day in my practice. These are the subtle habits that can seriously undermine your energy, your circulation, and your performance. Let's begin with the first one. Mistake number 1, the panic chug. Now, I want you to be honest with yourself. Have you ever had this happen? You're busy all day, where you're running errands, you're on the phone, you're focused on a project, and then you look at the clock. It's 4 p.m., and a little alarm goes off in your head. I haven't had any water today. So, what do? You go to the kitchen, you grab the biggest glass you can find, and you chug a huge 20-ounce glass of water all at once. You feel a sense of accomplishment. There, I'm hydrated. But here's the critical mistake. Your body just doesn't work that way. Doing this, the panic chug, can actually negate the benefits you're hoping for. In some cases, it can even make you feel worse. So why is this so ineffective? The science behind it comes down to a fundamental process in your body called osmotic balance. This is the delicate balance of water and essential electrolytes, like sodium, inside and outside of your cells. When you suddenly flood your system with a massive amount of plain water, you rapidly dilute the sodium in your bloodstream. Your body senses this imbalance and immediately works to get rid of the excess water to protect your cells. The result? It sends a powerful signal straight to your bladder. Most of that water you just drank goes right through you without ever properly hydrating your tissues. And this isn't just theory. Medical studies on fluid dynamics repeatedly show that this rapid intake, this disruption of your osmotic balance, is a direct cause of bloating, headaches, and even fatigue, all of which are the absolute enemies of intimacy and energy. You think you're helping, but you're actually just setting yourself up for more trips to the bathroom. To put it simply, I want you to think about watering a prized plant in your garden. You wouldn't just dump a 5-gallon bucket of water on it all at once, would you? Of course not. The water would just run off the topsoil, flooding the area without ever reaching the roots. Instead, you would use drip irrigation, a slow, steady, and consistent supply of water that allows the soil to absorb it deeply and effectively. Your body is exactly the same. A panic chug is a flash flood. It just runs right through. So, how do we fix this? The solution is beautifully simple. Hydrate gradually. Keep a glass or a bottle of water by your side throughout the day, on your desk, in your car, next to your favorite chair. And just take small, consistent sips. You don't need to overthink it. Just a few sips every hour. That's all it takes to switch from a flash flood to effective drip irrigation for your body. I had a client, David, a 71-year-old who was a chronic panic chugger. His biggest complaint wasn't just his bedroom performance, but that he was constantly being woken up at night by his bladder, which left him exhausted the next day. Once we got him to simply spread his water intake evenly throughout the day, everything changed. He told me, "Doc, not only do I feel better, but I'm finally sleeping through the night." He discovered that consistency, not volume, was the key. Instead of being distracted by a full bladder and fluctuating energy levels, this simple shift will keep your internal systems perfectly balanced, primed, and ready for action. It's a small tweak, but it can make a world of difference. All right, that brings us to the second major pitfall I see, and this one is incredibly common. It's a habit that many men don't even realize is working against them. Let's talk about mistake number 2, the desert and flood cycle. Does this sound familiar? You start your day with a cup of coffee, maybe 2. You get busy with work, appointments, or projects around the house. You go for hours. A long, dry spell, with little to nothing to drink. Then, dinner time rolls around. You finally sit down and you drink a massive glass of water, or maybe 2, with your meal. You might even have another large glass before bed, thinking you're catching up on your hydration for the day. This pattern, which I call the desert and flood cycle, seems logical on the surface. You're getting the water in eventually, right? But here's the critical mistake. This inconsistency is the absolute enemy of optimal bodily function. You are putting your internal systems on a stressful roller coaster ride, and that has a direct impact on your masculine vitality. So why is this cycle so damaging? It all comes down to a core principle of human biology called homeostasis. Homeostasis simply means balance. Your body is a finely tuned machine that works tirelessly to keep everything, your temperature, your blood sugar, and especially your fluid levels, in a stable, narrow range. When you go for hours without water, your blood literally becomes thicker and more concentrated. Your blood volume drops. Then, when you suddenly introduce a massive flood of water, your system has to scramble. Your kidneys are put on high alert, working overtime to process the deluge and restore balance. Your heart has to adjust to the rapid changes in blood volume and pressure. This wild fluctuation, this constant state of emergency and correction, is an immense source of underlying stress on your cardiovascular system. And for strong performance, your cardiovascular system needs to be calm, efficient, and reliable, not in a state of chaos. And this isn't just my opinion. This is a fundamental concept in cardiovascular physiology. The body's ability to maintain steady blood flow, or what we call hemodynamic stability, is crucial for health. Every first-year medical textbook confirms that extreme fluctuations in fluid volume tax the entire system. A 2021 review in the Annals of Internal Medicine highlighted how such inconsistencies place undue strain on the kidneys, which are vital for filtering blood and regulating blood pressure. When your key systems are constantly under this kind of stress, they cannot effectively divert powerful, steady blood flow to where you need it for firm, lasting erections. To make this easier to understand, I want you to think of your body's circulatory system, like the engine of a high-performance car. The desert and flood cycle is like driving that car by flooring the gas pedal and then slamming on the brakes all day long. The sudden surge of acceleration, the jarring halt of the brakes. It might get you from point A to point B, but can you imagine the unnecessary wear and tear on the engine? The stress on the transmission? The engine overheats, the parts wear out faster, and the performance becomes jerky and unreliable. That is exactly what you are doing to your heart, your blood vessels, and your kidneys. So how do we fix this? How do we switch from that jarring, stop-and-go driving to a smooth, effortless cruise? The solution, again, is simple consistency. I want you to aim for about half a small glass of water. That's about 4 ounces. Every 45 to 60 minutes throughout your day. A few good gulps are all you need. If you have to, set a recurring timer on your watch or your phone for 1 hour. When it goes off, you take a drink. It's that simple. I worked with a patient, Frank, a 65-year-old retired accountant. He was a classic desert and flood case. He'd have coffee all morning and then drink almost all of his water between 6 p.m. and bedtime. He complained of feeling sluggish and having brain fog in the evenings, right when he wanted to connect with his wife. We didn't change how much water he drank, only when. He started sipping throughout the day. 2 weeks later, he told me the evening fog was gone. He felt sharper, he had more energy, and his performance in the bedroom had become noticeably more reliable. He found a great synergy, too. He started adding a slice of lemon or cucumber to his water, which he said made sipping it feel less like a chore and more like a treat. This simple rhythm, this gentle, consistent hydration, it keeps your internal hydraulic system perfectly primed and ready, so your body can easily respond whenever your mind is. This next mistake is one that almost every single person I've ever met is guilty of, including myself for many years. It's a habit so deeply ingrained in us that we believe it's the natural, correct way to behave. This brings us to mistake number 3, waiting for the thirst signal. Think about it. From the time we were children, what were we taught? We were taught to drink when we feel thirsty. It seems like the most intuitive, common sense signal in the world. Your body needs water. It tells you it's thirsty. You drink. It's a simple feedback loop. But here is the critical error, the piece of information that changes everything. Relying on thirst as your primary cue to drink water is one of the biggest roadblocks to maintaining peak vitality and performance as you age. If you are waiting until you feel that sensation of thirst, you are already behind. You are already in a state of deficit. So, why is this the case? Why can't we trust this basic signal? The science behind it is fascinating. From a neurological standpoint, thirst is a lagging indicator. It is not a proactive warning. It is a reactive alarm. Your brain only triggers that distinct "I'm thirsty" sensation after your body has already lost between 1 and 2% of its total water content. Now, 1 or 2% might not sound like a lot, but in the world of human physiology, it's a significant deficit. At this stage of mild dehydration, your blood has already begun to thicken. Its volume has decreased. This makes it harder for your heart to pump that blood efficiently through your thousands of miles of blood vessels, especially the very small, delicate ones that are crucial for erectile function. The performance decline starts well before the alarm bell of thirst ever rings. And this isn't just a hypothesis. This is well-established science. A landmark study published in the American Journal of Physiology specifically examined how the brain's osmoreceptors, the sensors that detect dehydration, actually function. They found conclusively that the thirst mechanism is a survival response, not an optimal performance indicator. It's designed to prevent serious harm, not to keep you running at 100%. In fact, other studies from the world of sports science have shown that athletic performance, mental clarity, and reaction time can decline by as much as 10% before an athlete even reports feeling thirsty. 10%. That is a massive drop in efficiency, all happening before your brain even tells you to take a drink. To put this in the simplest terms possible, I want you to think of the thirst signal like the oil light in your car. When that little red light flashes on your dashboard, what does it mean? It doesn't mean, hey, you might want to think about getting an oil change in the next few weeks. No. It means the engine is already running low on a critical fluid. Right now. You wouldn't wait for that light to come on before you check your oil, would you? Of course not. You do it proactively, as part of your regular maintenance, to keep the engine running smoothly and prevent damage. You want to top it off before the warning. Your body deserves the same proactive care. So, how do we fix this? The solution is to shift your entire mindset. Stop being reactive and start being proactive. You need to build the habit of drinking before thirst ever has a chance to set in. You need to make sipping water an automatic part of your daily routine, just like brushing your teeth. I tell my patients to use habit stacking. Find things you already do automatically and stack the habit of drinking water on top of them. For example, every time you stand up from your chair, take a few sips of water. Before you walk out the door to run an errand, take a few sips. After every trip to the bathroom, take a few sips. One of the best synergies I've seen with this is for men who take daily medications or supplements. A client of mine, George, a 67-year-old, used to just swallow his morning pills with a tiny bit of water. I told him, "George, that is the perfect opportunity. Use that moment to drink a full 12-ounce glass of water." Not only did it help him start his day hydrated, but he said it also seemed to help the medications absorb better. He turned a daily chore into a powerful moment of proactive hydration. This one was a real surprise for me years ago. So if you've just had a little light bulb go on, if you learned something new right there, do me a favor and comment "aha" below. It's always great to know when these ideas connect. All right. This brings us to a very tricky subject and a mistake that is incredibly easy to make because it feels so logical. It's a trap that many health-conscious men fall into every single day. Let's dive into mistake number 4, counting everything wet as water. Now, this is a very common line of thinking. You might tell yourself, well, I had 2 big cups of coffee this morning. I had a glass of iced tea with lunch, maybe a glass of wine with dinner. You add it all up in your head and you think you've consumed a good amount of liquid. You believe these drinks are contributing positively to your overall hydration goals. But here is the critical mistake, the misunderstanding that I need to clear up. Assuming that all liquids hydrate you equally is a major flaw in your strategy. In fact, relying on some of these popular drinks can actively move you backwards, leaving you in a worse state of hydration than when you started. So why is this? Why doesn't your morning coffee count in the same way as a glass of pure water? The science is very clear on this, and it has to do with how these substances interact with your kidneys and your hormones. Let's start with caffeine, found in coffee and black tea. Caffeine is what is known as a mild diuretic. A diuretic is any substance that signals your kidneys to flush more water and sodium out of your body through urination. So while you are taking in liquid, the caffeine is simultaneously telling your body to get rid of it more quickly. Now let's talk about alcohol. Alcohol is even more potent in this regard, but it works through a different mechanism. It directly suppresses a crucial hormone in your brain called vasopressin. You can think of vasopressin as your body's master water regulator. Its job is to tell your kidneys to hold on to water, to reabsorb it back into the bloodstream, to keep you hydrated. Alcohol essentially shuts off this signal. Your kidneys never get the message to conserve water, so they just keep flushing it out. This is precisely why drinking alcohol leads to frequent urination and can result in the classic symptoms of dehydration the next day. And this isn't just speculation. This is fundamental endocrinology. Research published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism has extensively documented alcohol's powerful suppressive effect on vasopressin. A 2018 meta-analysis reviewed multiple studies and confirmed that for every gram of alcohol consumed, urine output increases by a significant margin, directly leading to a net fluid loss. This process is a well-known direct contributor to poor circulation and erectile dysfunction. The simplest way to think about this is to imagine you're trying to fill a bucket with water, but this bucket has a small hole drilled in the bottom. As you pour water in from your coffee or wine, you're also constantly losing water out of that hole. Some of the liquid stays in the bucket, yes, but you're fighting a losing battle. You can never truly fill it up. Pure water, on the other hand, is like pouring liquid into a bucket with no hole. Every drop you add contributes to filling it. So how do we practically apply this without feeling deprived? The solution is not about telling you to give up your favorite drinks. It's about being smarter. I call it the rule of 1 for 1. It's very simple. For every cup of coffee you enjoy, for every glass of iced tea or wine, you consciously drink 1 glass of pure water of the same size to stay balanced. This isn't a punishment. It's a compensation. It's you intelligently plugging that hole in the bucket. I shared this rule with a patient, Mark, a 68-year-old who loved his evening glass of red wine. He was convinced it was healthy, but he always felt sluggish and dehydrated the next morning. He started applying the 1 for 1 rule, having a glass of water right alongside his wine. A few weeks later, he told me it was a game changer. He said, "I still get to enjoy the wine I love, but I wake up feeling 10 years younger." This isn't about deprivation. It's about smart synergy. Enjoy your favorite drinks, but be a good accountant for your body and make sure you balance the books. We have now arrived at the final mistake, and in my professional opinion, based on the hundreds of men I have worked with over the years, this is the single most important one. It is the most common, the most overlooked, and potentially the most damaging habit of them all. But the good news is that it is also the easiest to fix. Let's discuss what I consider to be the biggest mistake of all. Mistake number 5, ignoring the morning drought. I want you to picture your typical morning. The alarm goes off, you get out of bed, you make your way to the kitchen, and what is the very first thing you reach for? For the vast majority of men, the answer is coffee. They want that jolt of caffeine to wake them up and get them going. They go straight from a state of sleep to a state of stimulation, having gone 7, 8, maybe even 9 hours without a single drop of fluid. This is a monumental mistake. Starting your day with a diuretic beverage like coffee before giving your body the pure hydration it desperately needs is like starting a marathon with a sprint. You are putting your entire system on the back foot for the rest of the day, and you may never fully recover. So why is this specific moment so incredibly critical? The science is unequivocal. You wake up every single morning, without exception, in a state of mild dehydration. Think about it. For the entire duration of your sleep, you have been slowly but surely losing water. You lose it through perspiration. You lose it through the simple act of breathing. Every exhale releases water vapor into the air. Over 8 hours, this adds up to a significant fluid deficit. When you wake up, your blood is thicker, your circulation is more sluggish, and your cells are starved for water. This is your baseline. Starting your day from this point of deficit is a guaranteed performance killer. And this is not just a general wellness concept. It is a measurable physiological fact. Sleep studies conducted at leading research institutions, like a notable one from the University of Cambridge in 2020, used advanced sensors to measure insensible water loss during sleep. They found that the average adult male can lose up to a full liter of water overnight, just through respiration and perspiration, a full liter. This evidence provides powerful confirmation that beginning your day in a dehydrated state isn't just a possibility, it is a certainty. The best analogy I can possibly give you for this is to think of an old-fashioned hand pump for a well. If you've ever used one, you know that if the pump has been sitting for a while, the seals dry out. You can crank that handle all you want, but nothing will happen. You first have to take a small bucket of water and pour it down into the top of the pump. This is called priming the pump. That initial water re-wets the seals, creates the necessary suction, and only then can the water begin to flow smoothly and powerfully. That first glass of water in the morning is you priming the pump for your entire circulatory system. You have to do it first before anything else can be expected to work correctly. So, what is the most effective way to do this? I give my patients a simple, powerful recipe I call the Morning Vitality Cocktail. It is not complicated. Within the first 20 minutes of waking up, before coffee, before breakfast, you drink on a 12-ounce glass of water. That's it. Now, if you want to supercharge it, you can add 2 simple, inexpensive ingredients. First, a tiny pinch of Himalayan salt or Celtic sea salt. This isn't for flavor, it's to provide trace minerals and electrolytes like magnesium and potassium, which your body needs to absorb the water properly. Second, a squeeze of fresh lemon juice. Lemon juice is rich in vitamin C, which multiple studies have shown acts as a powerful antioxidant that helps protect a crucial molecule called nitric oxide. And as we know, nitric oxide is the gas that tells your arteries to relax and open up, powering strong blood flow. This one habit, this simple morning cocktail, costs less than 10 cents a day. Yet, I am convinced it can have a bigger and more immediate impact on your daily energy and circulation than almost any expensive supplement you can buy. It kickstarts your entire system. It is the most important thing you can do to set the stage for a day of peak vitality. It's not just a drink, it's a statement. It's you, deciding to start your day with hydration, not stimulation, and that one choice can change everything. So, there you have it. We've uncovered how avoiding the panic chug, how staying consistent throughout the day, and especially how priming the pump every morning are simple, science-backed ways to support your entire circulatory system. But gentlemen, knowledge without action is just entertainment. I don't want you to just watch this video, I want you to benefit from it. So here is your simple 3-step action plan, your prescription for this week. First, tonight, before you go to bed, I want you to put a glass on your nightstand. If you have one, put a lemon next to it. Set yourself up for success. Second, tomorrow morning, before your feet even touch the coffee maker, drink that first 12-ounce glass of water. Just do that one thing. And third, all day tomorrow, set a recurring timer on your phone for every hour. When it goes off, you don't have to chug. Just take a few sips. That's it. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Dr. Wells, this sounds too simple. It sounds too simple to actually work. And I understand that skepticism, but your body is not a complicated machine that requires complex solutions. It is a biological system that thrives on the fundamentals. You would never blame a beautiful classic car for not running if its oil was low. You wouldn't call it old or broken. You would simply give it what it needs. Your body is the same. You are not broken. You just need the right fuel. And please remember, this isn't just about improving bedroom performance. That's a wonderful benefit, but it goes so much deeper. This is about having the energy to get on the floor and play with your grandkids. It's about having the vitality to travel and make new memories with your partner. It's about having the strength to remain independent and in control of your own life for as long as possible. That powerful journey. It can start with something as simple as one glass of water. So if this video was helpful to you, please click that like button. And if you are committed to making a change, no matter how small, I invite you to join our community here. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on more practical guides like this one. And more importantly, go to the comments section right now and write 2 simple words. Day 1. This isn't for me. This is for you. It's your public commitment to yourself. Let's start this journey together. Thank you for investing your valuable time with me today. In my next video, we are going to explore the one common pantry spice that recent studies show can have a remarkable effect on aching joints. You will not want to miss that one. I'm Dr. Audrey Wells. Take care of yourselves. And remember, your best years are not behind you.